Hey there, Cancer. Welcome to your reading for the. This is your August bonus reading. You start with this card that says a new romantic cycle begins. You also have the South Node card that says don't let the past hold you back. Yes, we have the South Node in Virgo, and there's something about the South Node in Virgo that's like a little bit tricky because I think the South Node in Virgo makes us want to make things perfect when nothing is perfect. We kind of have to like get messy or be willing to avoid perfectionism with that South Node in Virgo, right? And so that's definitely something that I would think about, with this card here is what I would say. With everything going on here. And sorry, I meant this card. You have no... My brain was in two different places there. Typical Gemini moon, right? But this card, I can't show you this card. I just realized. So I was covering it up. But there you go. So anyway, you have the star in your current general energies. And it's like there's something you want here, Cancer. And I feel that you really need to kind of like make it happen just in a lot of ways. And we'll see what comes up as we move throughout this bonus reading here. But you have the Eight of Swords and the Page of Cups there as your crossing energy. So Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords is only seeing one way of doing things when there are many. So I feel that you need to open up to all solutions to accomplish a star. It's like something is much more possible than you realize. I feel like I say this to you every single reading, and I'm not trying to blow smoke or lie or anything like that in your readings. You might be saying to yourself, you've been saying this for weeks. How come I haven't done it yet? I don't know. I'm not you, right? She's pouring water onto the land here. And this water she's pouring onto the land comes from the pool of universal consciousness. And what this represents is that what's possible for one person is possible for everyone. And so if someone has done something that you want to do or close to it, then you could absolutely do it. And it's like I feel like your past couple readings have been kind of saying something similar to this, like you want something, the star. The star can be kind of like a wish, and it's like you're hoping for something here, but I feel like you really need to go for it. And again, I wish I had different messages for you, but I don't. At least in this part of the reading, and again, I wish I could avoid all the comments from people saying, you just keep repeating yourself. And I'm like, well, I wouldn't trust an intuitive that doesn't. It's like, honestly, life doesn't change that much, over a week. It's like life changes over years, basically. And sometimes we deal with things for an extended period of time, right? And so it's like, yeah, sure. But at the same time, it's like, I think this is probably a big theme that you're dealing with. So it is important. And trust me, I'm here with you trying to help you break through this, whatever this is, right? You have the Eight of Swords and the Page of Cups as your crossing energy. So for some of you, this could be a person that you're interested in, and maybe you're just not sure how it could be a thing or like how you could get it working or whatever. But I think you're trying to be too perfect here, Cancer. And, again, if this is love, I feel that there is no good answer. You just have to go for it, plain and simple. I think that it's going to require communication, having this page here. So, that's what I would say there. For others, it's like the Page of Cups could be a dream, and the star is very dreamy. So I feel for a lot of you, there could be like a part of your dream that you're trying to manifest here, and I feel the Eight of Swords is saying you are stuck because you're only seeing one way of doing things when there are many. And so I feel like you need to be open to all the ways of doing things. And, I think you need to open up for new solutions. I would be doing your research, even though, the Page of Swords is my card of curiosity. And so, what I would say here is that pages in general can be curious. And it's like maybe you need to invite a little more imagination into your life. We'll talk about that in a second. I think that would be a good thing with the Page of Cups. In the area of what's on your mind, you have the Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles can be a card of resourcefulness. This could also be part of the problem, is like you could have a dream with the star, but you can also be worried about whether or not you're going to have the money to accomplish it with the Queen of Pentacles. But the Queen of Pentacles, doesn't necessarily have the money to do something she wants to do. She is resourceful. If she will find a way, even if she doesn't have the money. She will come up with a resource, or she will use her resources to create success. And I feel like that's what you need to do here. It's also kind of funny because I remember earlier this year, or maybe a few months ago, I was saying something to you about working with your opposite sign energy, Capricorn, right? Capricorn is your opposite sign. And so I think sometimes that the universe does request that we work with our opposite sign energy. And, it's almost like the universe is wanting you to work more with that, kind of like driven Capricorn energy, or, the willing to climb a mountain type of energy. I feel like it's saying like something that's worth it is going to require work. That's like the message that's popping into my head off of this card. Obviously, I wouldn't burn yourself out here, but again, I think that what the card, or maybe the whole reading is trying to say, is that you want something, the star, and maybe you haven't moved towards it because you're afraid of putting the work into it, whatever it is. But again, I kind of feel like that's what is going to make this valuable in the first place. Whether it's a relationship, a business, your spiritual beliefs, or otherwise, doesn't matter. It's clear to me that there's like a star in your life, something that you see as special. And it's going to require work to get there, but I think it's going to be worth it. That's like what makes it valuable. And that's, I don't know, that's the message I'm getting there. I think you need to dream bigger. In the area of your foundation, you have the Seven of Cups. The Seven of Cups can be a card of being spoiled for choice and having a lot of options. So I do feel you have a lot of options here, Cancer. But I also think you need to realize, again, too many sevens and eights in this reading here. With the Eight of Swords, it's only seeing one way of doing things. Seven of Cups would be all the options. It would be all the ways of doing things. So it's like you're probably much more capable, or you probably have many more tools at your disposal than you realize, especially with whatever you're trying to accomplish. I think you also need to not discount your experiences. It's like sometimes I think we see other people, maybe this is the energy I'm picking up on here, is like comparing yourself to other people, Cancer. It's like sometimes I think we see other people doing what we want to do in life in general, and we kind of like put them up here, when it's like really maybe it's this way. It's like maybe your skills, and I feel like I've said this to you before, it's like your skills are up here and the competition is down here. We don't really see competition in this reading, but I'm just saying, right? I'm just making the statement that, I think the Seven of Cups is saying you're more dangerous than you give yourself credit for, right? Cancers, crabs have big pinchers, so it's like, you probably have much more skill than you realize, but you have to use it to find out in the first place, and that's what I would do here. Next, in the area of the past, this is the energy that you're moving past. You have this Smoke and Mirrors card and this It Is What It Is card. I feel like some of you are letting go of past like disappointments, past illusions, things that were like fantasies and things like that. So I don't know, I just kind of get this like releasing energy off of these two cards, and it's like you're just releasing things. That's it. You have the Knight of Pentacles also in the past. Knight of Pentacles is slow movement. I feel like as you become more sure of yourself, it's like you are going to move quicker in life. And I'm not just talking about like one area of life or the other. It's kind of like saying to me that your life is actually going to speed up as we move forward here. But it's because there's something about like your certainty, or the level of certainty that you have in life, Cancer. This could be very recent. It is popping into my head as well. Like maybe very recently. I don't know. I'm doing this video on the July 25th. It'll be out on the 26th. So I think very recently maybe you've kind of like become more certain of yourself, or it's like you've become more certain of your ideas or your plans in life and things like that. So I definitely get that feeling here on the Knight of Pentacles, and I feel like that's going to be good for you. I also feel like you understand like what time wasters are now. Knight of Pentacles can be a little bit of a time waster, and it's like this could be a person who made promises, not even just in love. Like for some of you, sure, this could be love, but for others it could be work, business, whatever. It's like I feel like you are no longer going to waste time on people who kind of like they like tell you they're going to do something, they don't, basically, or it's like maybe they take too long to do things, or they overthink things. It's like sometimes I think that's an answer, right, for us, especially in love. It's like to me, it's maybe I'm a hard ass or something, but it's like to me, I think people should be more clear and better at judging people's level of desire. It's like sometimes, and again, I'm not picking on anyone here or anything, but I'll get comments from people sometimes where they'll say things like, oh, this person, it's like, I've been trying to get them to go out for like the past 2 weeks, and, now we're on week 3, and they finally said yes. I'm like, like, again, I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but it's like I always think about that, and sometimes I say to those people, it's like, really, it's like that person's level of desire is very low. It's like, I think we should only be, if we're going to be in a relationship, it's like the person better be head over heels optimistic about the connection and happy to see me, right? It's like, I'm not going to waste my time with someone who is like, oh, it makes you wait 3 weeks and things like that. It's not, I'm not even calling those people who do that bad people. It's like, they're just not interested. Not everybody's interested in you, unfortunately, right? And so it's like, sometimes I think that the Knight of Pentacles is kind of like that lesson that we learn in life, where it's like, it's like you can't make someone, and I'm not even just talking about love, I'm talking about like in business and work. It's like you can't get people sometimes to be on the same excitement level as you, but those people exist. You just have to find them. You have to find people that are matching your excitement level here, Cancer, and that's really the message I'm getting off of this card. I hope that makes sense. Next, you have this despair card and the sorrow card. I can't show you this despair card, but whatever. And so, again, this is coming up in the very near future. I would be careful of getting caught up in your emotions, especially this week. Today is, again, the 25th. So, I would say from the 26th until the end of the first week of August, I would be careful of getting like swept away in your emotions. I do think it could be a little bit of an emotional week, and weird things could be happening in the world, whatever that's already been happening. So I would like take control of your emotions. And also, you have the moon. So the moon is coming up in the very near future. The moon can represent a period of darkness where it's like you can't really see. Personally, I don't mind the moon, but, it's part of the Fool's journey, but he has to go from here to here, and he also has to release his emotional armor. He has to take the risk of vulnerability to be successful when the Fool is going down the moon, right? And so that's the whole point of the moon, is that we have to take the risk of being vulnerable to be able to complete our journey. We have to release our emotional armor, which is like a little bit scary because, if we do that, then maybe we'll get hurt, right? But, that's the whole point of the moon, is that we have to take the risk. And, as long as you're not going to die, I would say do it, whatever it is, right? And I think that you will be happy that you did. Next, in the area of your outcome row, you have this X relationship card. It says change, closure, healing, and nostalgia. You do have the Tower in the area of your closest relationships. This Mercury retrograde in particular seemed to be one that would bring up a lot of X's, so, it kind of makes sense. You have this Master card. It says wisdom, integrity, compassion, and truth. I feel like you've gained all of those things over the years here, Cancer. It's like you've gained all those powers. It's like you could see your ex with another person. Maybe that's where this sorrow and despair is coming from. The other funny thing is, for those of you that want love, like, if you're still sad about an ex, it's like clearly there is like a star that is available for you that would make you so much happier, right? Where you could have that with them instead of like your ex, right? It's like maybe what you don't know is your ex's new person might have like a dead tooth or something. It's like maybe their breath stinks and you don't even know that. They're settling, right? You don't have to settle. You have the star right here. So you can have someone with perfect pearly whites, right? And so there you go, Cancer. I don't know. Look, and no dead teeth. Next, in the area of the next few months, good, you showing up here. You have the Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups, of course, is you, Cancer. And whenever you show up as yourself, it kind of puts you in a position of power and strength. I kind of feel like it's pretty funny that it's like you and your opposite sign right here. It's like both energies are showing up here, Cancer, and I don't know, it's popping into my head as important. It's like I think that working with both energies, Capricorn and Cancer energy, would be very good for you. And I would just do it. The Queen of Cups is, of course, also a card of following your heart, so I would follow your heart at this time. Next, in the area of your closest relationships, you have the Tower. The Tower can be a surprise, a shock to the system, entering into new reality, exiting the matrix, seeing the truth. I do feel like some of you, it's like I do feel like you could be seeing some, like an ex or something like that, that's doing something that makes you sad. So, definitely, I would protect yourself from that energy, especially during Mercury retrograde. It could hurt your feelings or something like that. The other thing is again, maybe they have stank breath and you don't know it. Maybe this person has, weird feet or something like that. I don't know. As I always say, maybe this person clips their toenails in bed. That's my big pet peeve, right? I don't want to be rolling around getting stabbed in the shin with a freaking nail. So there you go. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm asking too much, right? That's probably why I'm still single here, Cancer. But anyway, what I would say here is that, the Tower, I feel like it's like you don't know what's going on behind the scenes, and I think you need to think about that. The other thing is that I do feel like there could just be changes happening in your relationships in general, and so there you go. You have the Seven of Wands in the area of your future feelings. Again, more sure of yourself. I don't know. I just get this energy of certainty about the reading, and it feels good. I mean, I think it's a good thing. It's like when you are certain about where you're going, things can go better. So that's really the energy I get off of this card. The Seven of Wands is a card of conviction. It says when you know that you know, when you are certain about something, that's when it will be successful. So, I feel like for a lot of you that, it's kind of like one of those things where it's like, you are just more sure of yourself, and because of that, you're finding more success. Personally, I like the Seven of Wands, so, I think this is pretty good for you. The Seven of Wands can also be about having appropriate boundaries, so, of course, maybe you need to, block an ex or, protect yourself from an ex or something like that here, and that would also be a good idea, Cancer. For your outcome, you have the Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles is a change in direction, so he's looking at those Seven Pentacles, and he's saying, is the juice worth the squeeze? Is it worth it for me to put all this time, effort, energy, attention into these Seven Pentacles, or is there something better that I could do with my time? And I don't know. I can't answer that question for you. So, definitely something I would think about with the Seven of Pentacles is like, is there something better that you could do with your time or what? I don't know. But I would think about it. I also feel that there is some sort of financial change coming in for you here. And, yeah, I think it's going to require some maybe bravery and messiness as well as popping into my head. Especially, this might only be for a few of you, but if you have a business, I do think that is yours. I feel like this is saying you need to be willing to get more messy, like not needing things to be perfect, not needing things to go in a perfect, have a perfect flow, right? Because nothing is ever perfect. I've had businesses since I was 16. My first business was a fish tank cleaning business when I was 16 years old, right? And I had that for many years. and now I have several businesses. So, again, as someone who's been in business for over 20 years now, I can tell you that, again, nothing ever goes according to plan. Just it is what it is. All right, let's clarify this and let's see what is going on here. But you are fearing a heartbreak. Star, Eight of Swords, Page of Cups here, Three of Swords as the clarifying energy. I feel like you need to get out of your head. This will not be a heartbreak, Cancer. Plain and simple. I think that it's almost like if I put myself in your shoes, which is how I read, it's almost like you're saying, well, I'd rather just fantasize about this because that won't hurt me. But it's like you could have the real thing, like whatever you're fantasizing about. And here's the thing, this doesn't even have to just be love. It could be anything. We are in a time of fantasy. We still have Neptune, which will be retrograding back into Pisces. I've been begging people since I started this channel to go accomplish the impossible dream. And people always say, it's impossible. I'm like, well, actually, it's not. That's the trick, is we have Neptune in Pisces. We also have Saturn in Pisces. It's like, I don't just pull this stuff out of thin air. Well, some of it I do, definitely. But what I would say is, I knew years ago, because I looked at the astrology, that Saturn would be transiting at the same time, at the end of Neptune going into Aries, and it would be in Pisces basically at the end of Neptune and Pisces as well, right? And they'd change signs at the same time. Neptune is the big impossible dream, the fantasy. Saturn says, if you get your ass moving, sure, you can have it, right? And so both planets are retrograding back into Pisces. And, we have basically the rest of this year. And we, really, if you want to get technical about it, maybe we have till March of next year. In January, Neptune will move back into Aries. And then in February, Saturn will move back into Aries. And, to be there for about 2.5-ish years, right? So, now's the time to make the fantasy a reality and get out of your head. With the Queen of Pentacles, you have the Three of Pentacles. Capricorn has been resisting teamwork in their readings, and so sometimes I think when this happens to me, it's like a clue for you about what you shouldn't do. And so don't resist teamwork. Not that you would, but this looks good. It's coming up in your mind, in the area of what's on your mind. So some of you could be thinking about, teaming up with people or working together with people. Three of Pentacles says ultimately you need to be number one. But the people who help you, it's like they can be coming in a support position. There's something important about this. I don't know, I can't explain it, but it's a message that been getting for a couple of signs for a while that if you're going to be creating something, like, don't let other people take over the project. It's fine to allow people to help you, but make sure that, all decisions and everything else comes from you and from your heart. Queen of Cups, right? And as long as you're in the driver's seat, things will go well, as long as you're the leader. If you're not, then, things will not go well. But, amazing card for teamwork and also attention. With the Seven of Cups, you have the Knight of Wands. Yeah, it's like, again, a very spontaneous energy here. Again, I think part of me feels you need to be messy with this card, like we said with that South Node card. The other part of me feels that you kind of like need to pick one thing and make it happen. It's like, the Seven of Cups is the fantasy, dreaming, making, fantasizing about something, needing to bring that fantasy down to earth. And I feel like the Knight of Wands is just saying, take action. The whole reading is saying that. So there you go. With the Knight of Pentacles, you have the Nine of Wands. Yes, I definitely would be putting up boundaries against anything or any people from the past. This could just be people who are full of hot air, is kind of the feeling I get. And again, that's not really what the Knight of Pentacles means, but I read intuitively, and that's what I'm getting intuitively, is that I feel like some of you have like dealt with people, or you've experienced many people in your life who, it's like they just say a lot, but nothing at the same time, and they definitely don't do anything. And so those are the types of people I would avoid. And I'm not just talking about love. I'm talking about, freaking everything, right? With the Moon, you have the Judgment card. That changes the reading because we have these two cards together, Judgment and the Tower. To me, Judgment and the Tower is the most powerful combination in the tarot. It represents like a major revelation or a major wake-up call. So a lot of you really could be having some like big revelations or big wake-up calls at this time. This could be like sudden new understandings as well. I don't know, it's almost like something is giving you a little bit of a boot in the ass here, Cancer, which I feel like I've said to you recently. It's like sometimes I think we can fantasize about something, we can come up with an idea. And it's like then maybe we see someone else who has the same idea. And then we're like, holy crap, I better get moving now before someone else gets credit for my idea, right? It's kind of like the theory that, it's like, two people invented the telephone at the same time, right? And it was Alexander Graham Bell and some other dude, I can't remember his name. But they both had like the same idea at the same time. There are a bunch of examples of this, right? It's like the, it's, what do you call that? The energy, the, I don't know what, the morphogenic field or whatever you want to call it, where people are tapped in to ideas. So multiple people get the same idea at the same time. And, I kind of feel like that's what's going on here. It's like a collective consciousness is what I was looking for. Is that some of you could see someone who has like a similar idea to you or wants to make a move. Maybe, where was I going with this? This could be like on your love as well. It's like maybe you're in love with a person and maybe you see or hear that someone else is going to make a move and you're like, hell no, I can't let this person, steal this person. It's almost like you're getting some motivation. With the Queen of Cups, you have the Six of Wands. Yes, I think that there is a big victory or success coming in for you if you allow it. If you get out of the fear, right here. If you remove the fear of the potential heartbreak, then I feel that things will go very well. You'll have a victory, plain and simple. With the Tower, you have the King of Pentacles. Things cannot stay the same. That is the thing right now. If you want to have a Tower moment, this is a great way to have a Tower moment right now. And no, not a criticism at all. Sometimes I think Tower moments are a good thing. I'm an extremely stubborn ass person myself, right? So most of my Tower moments are self-created because I'm stubborn, right? Just like the King of Pentacles. So, but what I would say here is that the King of Pentacles is a little bit of a dinosaur. He knows he needs to make a change, but, he's stuck in the old ways. So I think that, upgrading everything or upgrading your skills or, really it's not that complicated. We just have to be willing to be flexible and do things in different ways. And as long as we do that, we'll be fine. There will be no Tower moment. This could also be surprise in love. You could be attracting an earth sign or, I don't know. You have basically everything here. It could be any sign. I do like the King and Queen of Pentacles together in love because they're like two people who do want something permanent. So there could be like a permanent connection coming in for you here. With the Seven of Wands, you have two cards. I pulled the Two of Wands. The Ace of Swords fell out into my lap as I pulled the card, so pretty good. Two of Wands is about taking the lead, which I said on that Three of Pentacles. Ace of Swords is a victory. And so, yeah, I feel pretty good about that Seven of Wands. Like I said, it's like it was saying to me that you're more certain of yourself. It's like the more certain you are, the more likely it is you'll have a freaking victory, right? So that makes perfect sense here, Cancer. I think this is a good, good. With the Seven of Pentacles, you have the Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, time to plant those seeds, right? It's like you've already grown something, like he has. He's grown those Seven Pentacles, but it's like maybe there's something else he could grow that's better in his life. And it's like you have a blank canvas right here. You have these empty fields behind you where you can grow whatever the hell you want, but you're gonna have to plant those seeds. You're gonna have to, be willing to be vulnerable to get whatever this thing is to grow. And I feel that's what this is. This whole reading is really kind of like encouraging to do. Yeah, damn. These cards are very good. You have this Camel card. It says, persevere and you will overcome. That could be part of the Capricorn message I was getting here in your reading, Cancer, is that, maybe you need to work with that perseverance side of things. Like the first time you do something, it's probably not going to work. Maybe you have to try something 2 or 3 times to get it to work, and, there you go. You have this Arrow card. It says, you're on the right path regarding some aspect of your life. Star. Star is having that North Star, having that one guiding light, that one thing that you focus on that you want to accomplish. So, I think being focused is amazing. You have this Feather card. It says, someone you know is undependable and insincere. I would just, again, I think that when people show you who they are, trust them. Believe them, right? Plain and simple. Knight of Pentacles. It's like, I don't know. I don't feel good about that Knight of Pentacles. I don't feel bad either. I just think it's like a energy vampire or something. You have this Butterfly. It says, a change for the better. Yes, definitely could be some big improvements for you here, Cancer. You have this Crown card. It says, honor and respect will come to you. Love it. Definitely could be 3 of Pentacles, 6 of Wands. Very good cards and the Ace of Swords as well. Very good for honor and respect. But this is a pretty good reading, Cancer. I like this. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your week.